right fielder, Casey Watts. Batting fourth, number 15, the first baseman, Bryce Swafford. Number 7, center fielder, Finn Collins. Batting sixth, number 32, the designated hitter, Bobby Cox. Number 14, the catcher, Alex Muir. Batting eighth, number 2, the second baseman, Owen Mendoza. And finishing it out, number 5, the left fielder, Luke Mallinger. For the Missoula Mavericks, and on the mound, I should say, number 18, Phil Wall. Joe Tompkins is the man. For the Missoula Mavericks, leading off, number 2, the second baseman, James Martin. Number 20, center fielder, Jovetic. Batting third, number 7, the first baseman, Dane Frazier. Number 21, Spencer the Wall Shock will be at the catcher position. Number 1, the right fielder, Drew Leonard. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 24, Ryan McHugh. Number 16, the left fielder, Sam Busey. Batting eighth, number 10, the shortstop, the young gun, Brennan Buchanan. And finishing it out, number 18, the designated hitter, Parker Stevens. As Taylor mentioned earlier, on the bump, Dylan Barkley. Brent Hathaway is the manager for the Mavericks. Our officials behind the plate, Eric Holden. And let's take a look here. Eric Holden is from Yakima, Washington. Max Cannon is at first, our very own Max Cannon from Missoula, Montana. And Jeff Maxey out of Greeley, Colorado. He's in chief on the third. They're introducing the Mavericks, and they're still wearing their white jerseys. They're all, or that's Juno wearing their white jerseys. They would literally finish up on Sunday, just right here, get things ready to go. I don't even think they had their tournament in Anchorage, and I don't think they got a chance to go to Anchorage to clean and refresh clothes.
Yeah, that's tough duty, but the boys down there, as they run through the starting lineups, they look high five. I think they're ready to play some ball.
So we're getting ready to go here. That is your starting lineups presented by Republic Services. So we're going to go ahead and step aside for 2 minutes. When we come back, we will have first pitch right after this 2-minute timeout on Fox Sports Radio. Welcome back to Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7. Chris Stratton here with Taylor Featherman. We've got the inaugural first pitch being thrown out by First Security Bank members. First Security Bank is the official sponsor of the Northwest Regional Tournament here in 2017. We'll go ahead and turn up the mic here so you can hear what the PA, Paul Yarbrough, is talking about.
Thank you, Madeline, and thanks to the entire team at First Security Day.
Alrighty, so we are ready to go.
To thank the thousands of firefighters who are protecting our state and preserving the last best place. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Special thanks to the fire crews that are working so hard, not only in Montana, but all over the United States right now. We are on fire in America. The winds cleared things out last night, Taylor. It seemed like it was meant to be for the tournament, as we would have a very smoky day all day yesterday, but as the banquet got underway, the winds blew everything out, and you could actually, out here at Ogren Park, you could see the mountains start to clear away, and by the time the banquet was done, it was blue skies.
Yeah, well, you know, Chris, like you said, we got kind of lucky. I mean, here today, I'm able to see blue skies, and you and me both being Missoula residents. That's kind of been a rarity the past week or two, I would say.
Very much so.
And it's kind of funny. I remember calling that first game with you when that low fire, you could just see it right out of the view of our booth at Lindbergh Craig. And we both said right then and there, well, that's it. There goes the summer.
Summer's over.
But speaking of Lindbergh Craig, Chris, you and me are kind of welcome to a little bit of a different view here in Missoula, usually facing southwest-ish, right at Lolo Peak. But here today, Ogren Park, right on the river, downtown Missoula, facing the L. It's kind of a nice change-up.
Right along the river. I mean, the two best places to see Legion Baseball and Pioneer League Baseball right here in Missoula. Ogren Park here for the Missoula Osprey Pioneer team, and then our lovely, beloved Lindbergh Craig Field, put together by Dale Dahlgren, who this tournament is actually dedicated to. Matt Ellis, Paul Sopko, and Bill Dahlgren. A few years ago, this isn't something that just happened. Over the past, I believe it's past 5 years, they've been working on putting this tournament together. Had a couple of denials by the American Legion, but finally got hooked in here, and we are set to go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, all of the and you know, Ogren Park, like you said, it's a great place to host a tournament. The fences are actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, a little bit closer in than at Lindbergh Park for the Mavericks usually. Is that correct?
That's right. We're 398 to the center field here in Ogren Park. It is 417 to the wall at Lindbergh Craig Field, and down the right first base line it is 287 here at Ogren, and 309 down the third base line. It is deeper. We've seen a couple of balls get banked over the wall here today already. Home runs getting sparked away. On the mound, warming up, is Phil Wall, number 18 for Juno, and on his way to the batter's box is James Martin. We've got Missoula Prep Sports celebrities in here. I saw Will Mitty earlier. And I think that's Messer down there as well. So James Martin, ready to go. Here comes those chicken fingers. So James will settle in to the press box, batter's box. Here's the first pitch. He'll swing over the top of the second baseman's head. A blooper out to right field. And the Mavericks are in business.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, that's how you start a game off right there. Lead-off single, you know, 9 innings in baseball. It's great to do that every inning, but I feel like specifically get things going right out of the gate with the bats. Lead-off single for James Martin.
And Mr. Maverick, Nick Jovetic, in the box.
So not only he was I don't know, would you say he was kind of the hero of that championship game last weekend on Sunday?
Most definitely.
Not only able to get it done, but with the bat, but Nick Jovetic, one of those rare players who can also pitch.
We call him the tool man around here, and he's got a toolbox full of tools he uses out on the field, about as handy as a pocket on a t-shirt. That one will be inside for Jovetic, and we'll have a 1-2 count here. Want to welcome in the listeners that are listening in from Juneau. Glad that we were able to bring this game in. This one's going to be fouled down the third base line, and Yo will stay alive with a 1-2 count.
Well, and that's kind of a tricky spot there. This Juno defense is playing straight up both infield and outfield straight away. Not very close either, playing deep. So, if Jovetic gets that just popping down the first or the third base line there, that, could be a base hit.
So Wall settling in on the mound. Runner at first and Martin. Here's the pitch. That one will be fouled off and off the heel of Holden, the umpire. That's why they wear them big, heavy boots.
I don't envy that right now with the pants and the whole nine in this heat, especially with the big protective shoulder pads and all that. It's warm out right now.
Wall settles in on the mound. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be low in the dirt. Martin will go ahead to base, and the catcher, Alex Muir, trying to find it, and finally gets it back out to the mound.
Well, and just good heads-up play there by not only Jovetic but also Martin. Jovetic not swinging at something that was right on the bottom of the box, letting that one go to even out the count 2-2. And then James Martin seeing that got away from the catcher and just going for it. Might have had a couple bases there, but...
Two-step lead for Martin at second, swinging and missing, and Jovetic will strike out. That'll bring up the first baseman, number 7, Dane Frazier. Now the Mavericks, folks, they are wearing their gray pants with a navy stripe down the side. They've got the navy top with the silver name and number, the white outline, and they've got the knee socks on, the navy knee socks going on. So Frazier settles in, one out here. Here's the pitch. This one will be bounced out. Second baseman will pick it up in the dirt. The throw to first is there, and that will be the second out of the inning. The first baseman will go ahead and hand the ball right to the pitcher, and that'll bring up the catcher, Spencer Schock, the Wall, as I like to call him.
Well, I mean, that was job well done there by Dane Frazier. You ground out to the second baseman, but the whole purpose of that at-bat was to advance Martin into now scoring position at third base. If Spencer Schock can get a hold of this thing, even for a base hit, the Mavs will take an early lead.
Movement. That pitch is outside, catches the plate on Schock. Schock would have his first home run of the season at the state tournament last week on Thursday against Lethbridge.
What a time to do it.
Here's the pitch. This one's going to be hit down the third base line. It'll go into the bullpen of Juno and bounce up into the grassy area. Yeah, it was really awesome on Thursday with the Mavericks. They played Lethbridge, and Jovetic would blast one over the wall with 2 runs, and then Spencer Schock would come up 2 batters later and do the same thing with 1 run. This one will foul into the netting.
Hey, at least we got a net. Big, huge net here in comparison to
I don't want to get you your hope.
Don't get too excited? Okay,
don't want to dash you because they've been coming over the netting here too. So
well, like I always tell you, if one comes at us, Chris, kill the mics.
Here's the pitch. That one's in the dirt. Martin will hold at third. So we've got a 1-2 count here for Schock with 2 outs. Opening half inning, scoreless. Well, Mavericks are threatening with Martin at third, though.
Once again there, Chris, the pitch kind of got away from Alex Murr there right at the wire. I'd keep an eye on that as these Mavs are aggressive on the bases.
Here's the pitch in the dirt. And we go to an even count at 2. Wall waiting for the pitch. Gets it now. Martin at third. And now the pitch. This one's going to be hit over the third baseman's head. Martin will come home, and the Mavericks are on the board 1-0. Schock with a nice little single. And that'll bring us to the right fielder, number 1, Drew Leonard.
Just like that, Chris. Little blooper out to left field. Brings home James Martin. Almost like Hath drew it up.
Leonard settles in. Left-handed batter is Leonard. Schock at third with a 1-step lead. Here's the pitch. This will be fouled off. Strike 1. And we've got The Osprey sound man in the building running sound here for the game. A little extra feature we don't have at Lindbergh Craig Field. Kind of nice.
Yeah, kind of nice.
Ryan, the sound guy.
Is that his name? Is that last name?
No.
Oh.
I'm not quite sure what his last name is, but I've known him for a long time, too. That's really sad that I don't know what his last name is. Schock is going to make his way down to second. The catcher holds and watches Schock go down the line. That was kind of odd.
Well, Schock knows how catchers operate, being one himself, and he just noticed that Alex Murr was not giving him the time of day, not even looking at him. So he just headed on down, second base or shortstop. No one was covering the bag. Great play there by Schock. Take advantage of that.
He kind of karaoke down the first base or second baseline there. That pitch to Leonard will catch the plate, and we'll even the count out at 1.
Phil Wall, the pitcher here for the Juno post 25. He's not afraid. He's throwing a lot of stuff in the zone. He's attacking the box. He knows what he's doing out there.
Schock with a 2-step lead at second. Leonard settled. Ryan McHugh in the Access Fitness on deck circle. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And that will end the inning. So Wall will get a K to end the inning. And the Mavericks have a 1-0 lead on the Pepsi scoreboard. We'll be back in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio.
Okay, what's that website? iScore's not up.
iScore is up. All you got to do is click on the...
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm so stupid.
Do you want tape to tape this down?
No, I'm good with it like
Okay.
that. That's what I was missing right there.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7. Chris Stratton here with Taylor Featherman as we have the Missoula Mavericks taking on Juneau 5 out of Alaska. And the Mavericks have the lead here, 1-0 in the first half inning. On the bump for the Mavericks today, Dylan Barkley, number 4. He would ace his way through the first game of the state tournament last weekend. He'd hit the 120 pitch count, and they would have to pull him in the 9th inning. Leading off for Juneau is number 6, the shortstop, Zeb Story. Getting warm in the booth here. Here's the pitch, low, ball 1.
It's not too bad. It's kind of a nice... I don't want to say comfortable because it's not, but...
Well, we had a breeze most of the morning, and that died away. Here's the pitch. About the same time you walked in the building, so...
Yeah, that's how she goes.
Even count at 1 now. Mavericks lead 1-0 here. Story, the leadoff batter. That pitch catches the plate. We go to a 1-2 count.
That was a nice pitch there by Barkley, just getting that low and inside ball, or for strike 2 there.
You know, here's the great thing about Barkley. The pitch is on its way. This one's going to bounce in front of the plate, high into the air. Buchanan comes up. He's got it in the glove, but the throw not made to first. Nice athletic job by Buchanan to come up and get that, but not able to make the throw across the pitcher's mound. Barkley can come back and he can pitch next year. He's going to MSU Billings this fall to go to college, and he's going to play baseball there, but he can come back because of eligibility next year, him and James Martin both.
Yeah, James Martin, the fellow with the single there in the leadoff spot in that first inning, both able to come back and pitch for this team again. And that's a big morale booster. A couple of your senior leaders coming back.
Third baseman, number 16, Donovan McCurley, steps into the box. Ooh. And his first pitch is a ball.
Zeb Story out there. He's playing with Barkley a little bit. He's ready to run.
Throw to first. And that's such a great game to watch. There's so many little games within the game with baseball.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot with the football and basketball and those, but with baseball, It's more than a chess match. There's like 6 chess matches going on within the chess match. That pitch is high. Well, and we'll have a 1-0 count here.
The problem is that the pitcher's in about all of them, so he's really got to stay vigilant. But yeah, Zeb Story out there, the shortstop for Juno, he's doing quite the little
dance.
Yeah, I mean he's juking in and out.
Barkley,
he's
showing that he's gonna go to first, giving him a chance. Casey Watts in the on-deck circle for Juno. Barkley staring down the runner. Here's the throw. Bunted down the first base line, and we even the count out at 1.
This is intriguing. I've never seen, I mean, to be fair, I haven't called that extremely many of these Legion, at least the Montana, Alberta, but I haven't seen a player come out and dance, do such kind of a, am I going to go, am I not going to go, kind of a routine, especially with Barkley. Yeah, that's interesting.
Pitch is on the way, catches the outside of the plate on the right-handed batter. We go to a 1-2 count. Barkley saying, go ahead and dance. I'm going to get your batter out.
Yeah, well, and you're exactly right. You talk about the chess match. Barkley's playing it almost to a T right now. He's able to zone out the player on first base, Story, who's giving him kind of fits, and he's just focusing on striking out this batter.
Here's the pitch. That one's going to be low and outside, and we'll even the count out at 2 here.
Just missed there. It looked like he was trying to go away with that and just missed the corner, it looked like.
Mavericks, they would win the championship game on Saturday against Bozeman. Bozeman has the game at 7 o'clock against Hawaii. The one coming up right after this one. And Barkley falls behind on the count, makes it 3-2.
And that was a tough pitch there. I mean, that was incredible work there by McCurley to lay off that one. That's a pitch a lot of players hit.
Here's the pitch. Swung on. It'll bounce past the shortstop. Diving is Martin. Gets it to second for the out, but not in time to first. What an awesome play by James Martin to dive in the dirt and hop that one up to Buchanan to get the out at second, and the leadoff batter is retired.
Absolutely. Well, and, you know, right now for Barkley, that's a little sweat off his chest there. Now he doesn't have to worry so much about Zeb's Story. Granted, I'm not exactly sure what McCurley's going to do over there at first base. But great play there by Martin. Now you have one out, and, you know, you prevented runners at first and second.
Casey Watts, number 11, the right fielder, in the press box, batter's box. Here's the pitch, swung on. This one's going to go deep into right field, and there for the catch is Drew Leonard for out number 2.
Well, and great play there by Leonard. He caught it and came right up with it to freeze the runner, send McCurley back to his base. He was halfway taken up too. He was almost to second. But
first baseman, number 15, Bryce Swofford, steps into the press box, batter's box. Swofford got some length to him. Tall young man. Here's the pitch by Barkley. That one will catch the outside of the plate for strike 1. And that pitch right there is one of Barkley's most lethal pitches. He's got it's a little bit low, and it just catches the outside of the plate, and it just seems to mess with batters' heads. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be dug in the dirt past the third baseman. It'll roll down the third base line. Busey will pick it up at the warning track. Runner will hold at third, and getting just ahead of Martin at second. And safe is the batter, and with 2 outs here, Alaska is threatening, and that'll bring up number 7, center fielder Finn Collins.
That was just a great rip there by Swofford. It got right past Ryan McHugh out there at third base, which it looked like he might have had a play on it, but just missed with the glove, and that went deep into left field.
Here's the pitch by Barkley. That one's low and outside for ball 1. You know, there's been a couple of shots today that have been kissed down that third base line just like that one. Fans moving in here nicely at Ogren Park, starting to fill in. Had a good crowd for the first 2 games. Here's the pitch. That one catches the outside of the plate, evens the count out at 1. 2 outs here. Bottom of the first, Mavericks lead 1-0, but Alaska threatening at third. Dylan on the Florence Coffee Company pitcher's mound. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul, and we'll make it a 1-2 count.
Well, and right now, Chris, if you're a Mavericks fan, you would want nothing more than to see Barkley strike out this batter and get you out of the inning, stranding runners at second and third. But if you're Juno fans, you'd love to see a nice pop to the outfield right here.
Barkley settles, checks the runners. Here's the pitch. This one will be fouled off, and the batter will stay alive.
Just barely caught a tip of that ball there.
For 32, Bobby Cox will shag the ball. Runners step away from their bases at second and third. Collins settles in. They'll throw to third. Getting there just ahead is the runner.
Collins came off the bag a lot there. He almost looked like he was angling to try to steal. Couldn't imagine he was going to try to steal home like that, but
Barkley's letting him dance out there. Here's the pitch. That one's outside, and we go to an even count at 2.
well, that's just confidence in your catcher, Shock, for Barkley. I mean, he knows that no matter what, as long as the ball doesn't get hit, he's pretty confident his guy Shock's going to catch that and be able to defend home against a potential steal.
Here's the pitch. This one's going to be fouled down the third base line here. And Collins will stay alive. Yeah, and you've got a catcher that is a linebacker, and he's not afraid to stick his foot in there and block the plate. And Spencer Shock, he's actually going to be taken off. He's missing opening week of camp at Montana Tech for this tournament.
Well, I think Tech will understand. I mean, this is a special time.
Here's the pitch. Swung on. It'll bounce out in front of the plate. Umpire calls foul. Well, that was a concern for Spencer at the beginning of the year when he was trying to decide whether he was going to play for the Mavs this year because camp started. He didn't want to play through the year, and then he felt like he'd be letting Hath down to leave this week and go back to camp. So he called the coach over there at Montana Tech, and he said, you know, the first week, it's usually just checking in, and you're just getting the playbook and that kind of stuff. We can get you squared away. Here's the pitch by Barkley. Fouled up into the netting. And Collins stays alive, even count at 2.
Well, and Shock's a hard-working kid. You know, even if he misses a week, he's going to get caught up on the playbook. He's going to get caught up on what he missed. He's not a slouch by any mean of the word.
Barkley with the pitch. And that one he'll watch go by, and we've got a full count at 3-2.
That's a tough one to not swing on. I mean, he's just lining the zone here, and that was the first one at the bottom there.
And to go back to Shock, you know, he's going to play long
right field. You're going to get one, maybe two runners who tag home, but with 2 outs.
This one will be fouled off for strike 1. Hathaway probably has a little more patience with Barkley as well than he would any of the other pitchers on the team.
Well, and Barkley is a jokester. He live streamed, and I don't think you're allowed to have phones in the Mavs dugout, but he live streamed almost the entire last inning of that Mavericks win in the state championship.
Well, he's not
with his own commentary.
He wasn't pitching.
For sure he wasn't.
Outside.
His commentary was just very, very comical.
Even count at 1.
A lot more personal than ours.
Yeah. Barkley waits for the pitch from Shock. Shock settles in behind the plate. Checks the runners. Here's the pitch. That one catches the plate, and we'll go to a 1-2 count here.
Barkley trying to work out of the jam here. It's a tough spot for a pitcher, especially in the first inning, already up 25 pitches.
Barkley works out of this. It's 6, 7, 8 batters scheduled in the next inning for the Mavericks. That one's low and outside for a ball, even count at 2.
The Mavs are almost all the way back in the dugout. Barkley was already off the plate, as we'll see Shock head up to the plate and talk to his pitcher.
And Cox will head down the line to speak with Joe Tompkins. Joe Tompkins in a wheelchair. Love seeing that kind of stuff where people just persevere. You know what I'm saying?
Persevere.
Through life's obstacles, and he's out here coaching Legion baseball team. Barkley now settling for the pitch. It's on its way. This one will be bounced off the plate. McHugh will come up. The throw to first is not there in time. The runner will come home and score with loaded bases. It's tied up at 1.
Well, and Barkley's frustrated right now, Chris, because he thought he struck out Bobby Cox there. The pitch prior to that one, that got blooped out there to right around third base. And that's the second time we've seen that, where the Mavs infield has been playing fairly deep, not expecting any kind of a bunt or anything. And something gets kind of popped out at him just in that same fashion. Not quite the same trajectory as something that would be, I don't know, say bunted, but kind of caught the Mavs off guard there. And
different speed. Alex Muir, the catcher, number 14, comes to the batter's box now. Loaded bases with 2 outs here, and Coach Hathaway is going to come out, and he's going to have something to say to Holden, the umpire. And Schock will go out to the mound. I'm not quite sure what Hathaway would need an explanation on.
Well, I mean, just speculating. I feel like Barkley really thought he struck that guy out. I mean, the whole Mavs team was already kind of making a move towards the dugout.
Yeah. Schock and Barkley having a conversation out on the mound, and Hathaway is going to stroll back to the dugout.
Stroll is an accurate term. Hathaway's stroll is, especially when he's at third base and the inning ends, he does a stroll, especially across here. It'll be good. You'll catch that on camera. Barkley already at 28 pitches here in this inning. Certainly not what you were hoping to start off with for your ace.
No, bottom of the first here. Juno showing why they're the cream of the crop of Alaska. Here's the pitch by Barkley. That one is outside on the right-handed batter. Now, one thing we did see at the state tournament was a large, and Hathaway is going to come out and speak to Barkley, but we saw a large strike zone for that tournament, and it wasn't any one particular team. It was consistent all the way through the tournament.
Then that's good.
But it was there was a couple of them that were way outside, and there were a couple that were very high that were called strikes by the umpires, but all of them working consistently. It wasn't one specific umpire, it wasn't one specific team that they were doing that against. It was consistent. So that's the good thing, is consistency.
Well, and that's kind of like for a pitcher when a golf course is aerating their greens, so they put in the bigger cups for like a weekend. I imagine that's kind of got to be the same thing for a pitcher.
Holden will come out and break up the party on the mound. Hathaway on his way back to the dugout.
Now, composure and confidence here, Chris, is what I'm sure that meeting was about. Barkley, a very confident kid and a very capable pitcher, and he's just really got to get his team out of this inning with the ball game tied.
Loaded bases, 2 outs, 1-0 count. This one's going to be fouled off in the netting to make it an even count at 1.
And that was his
Barkley
30th.
settles, checks the runners, and now the pitch. That one will catch the plate, and we'll go to a 1-2 count. More of the Missoula Prep Sports heroes as Roberts goes by from Missoula Sentinel. Going to be a Grizzly football player, probably getting ready for his camp, if not already in it. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be hit high down the first baseline, and it's going to actually fall into the stands here on the first baseline side.
I love how there's still like 4 or 5 kids, even at this level, who are just going to go for that pop out like it is, David Ortiz's last home run or something along that line, I love that.
Well,
that's terrific.
The kids get a special treat if they take the ball up to the concession stand. So.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, if we catch one, Chris, let me know.
I think there's an age limit of 12 on that, but
I'll hire a kid. We'll get it going.
It's close, but you could almost make 12. So a 1-2 count, 2 outs here, loaded bases for Juno. Here's the pitch by Barkley. Swung on and missed, and Barkley will finish the inning out with a K. They'll hang 3 on the base. They'll score 1, and it's tied at 1 on the scoreboard. We'll be back in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7.
Welcome to Access Fitness, where there's no initiation fees and no contracts. You just get results. With the top-of-the-line equipment to help you reach your fitness goals at your convenience, and 5 locations in western Montana cities, no matter where you venture, you can access your fitness home. Access Fitness is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can work out at your schedule. Access Fitness, no initiation fees, no contracts, just results. Access Fitness is a proud sponsor of the 2017 Northwest Regional Tournament.
Some changes in life are too painful to go through alone, and Cunningham Law can help in making difficult decisions from divorce to child custody. Kyle Cunningham focuses solely on family law. Cunningham Law will help you land on your feet when big changes come to your family and life. Visit www.familylawmontana.com or give Kyle a call at 406-203-4678 today. Cunningham Law Services. You don't have to go through this alone. Cunningham Law is a proud sponsor of the Northwest Regional Tournament.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Radio 1450 and 92.7. Chris Stratton here, Taylor Featherman. As we get set for the top of the second inning, leading off for the Mavericks is the Laser, number 24, Ryan McHugh, the third baseman.
Well, and Chris, the tale of 2 first innings, it was there. Missoula Mavericks, both teams 1-1 the score currently as we start the second inning here. Missoula Mavericks 2 hit Juno 3 and a walk. Bases loaded for 2 different batters. Kind of crazy.
And the Osprey hanging out over the field. That's got to be a good omen. Here's the pitch outside for ball 1. McHugh, a right-handed batter. Those of you that are new to Ogren Park, well, it is the only team facility that has its mascot. And that one's across the plate. Evens the count out at 1, but it's the only one that has the mascot living naturally in its natural habitat inside the stadium.
That's true, as you see the couple different osprey nests here streamed around the park.
That pitch outside makes it an even count at 1. No, and it's kind of crazy because we have the river along the field here, so if you come to an Osprey game every once in a while, here's the pitch. That one's in the dirt. Excuse me. Every once in a while, you'll see the Osprey catch a fish and go sit on the light fixtures above the seating.
Huh.
Makes for a nice mess on top of the,
I was
the
gonna
fans
say,
here.
that sounds interesting.
Here's the pitch. That'll catch out the outside of the plate, and we've got a full count at 3-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Foul. And McHugh will stay alive.
Good eye there by McHugh. Just advance the count, try to burn some pitches. Phil Wall now at his 25th pitch after that one. Also kind of high for 2 innings.
Here's the pitch. That one's going to be hit out. Shortstop will get it. Throw to first is there in time, and he doesn't hold on to it. And McHugh gets on. That'll bring us to the left fielder, number 16, Sam Busey.
I mean, good work there by McHugh to just keep on running and try to beat that out. But, you know, that play by Zeb Story, the shortstop, to get up in the gap between second and short there and scoop that ball and then flip it to first. I mean, that's a play where that gets through to center field a lot of times.
So Wall settles on the mound. Here's the pitch. Busey showing bunt. McHugh's going to get the extra base as it goes wild on the ball.
Another pitch that just seemed to kind of get away by Alex Murr there. That might be something we need to keep an eye on. I mean, especially you know this. Brent Hathaway's team's coached very well disciplined, and if there's a shot to take a base, they generally go for it.
There is no hesitation. You're right. Hathaway, the third base coach, 20 seasons with the Mavericks, 25 of them as the skipper. Here's the pitch, hit out. Shortstop will pick it up out of the dirt. The throw to first is there, and that will be out number 1. McHugh holds at second. And that'll bring us to the young gun, number 10, Brendan Buchanan. Buchanan, the shortstop, number 10, he was moved up from the A squad just a month ago, and he would win the Batters Award at the at the tournament this weekend. This one's going to be hit past the third baseman. McHugh will hold at third, and with one out here, the Mavericks have runners on the corners, and that takes us to Parker Stevens.
Well, that was just a great play there by the young gun, as you refer to him. I mean, he just saw that ball come all the way in. Nice clean swing, popped that out to left field. And I think, honestly, if there was maybe even 2 outs, Ryan McHugh probably would have tried to take that home, but with the circumstances as they are, Hath told him stop.
I can't remember the exact stat, but Buchanan at the tournament last weekend would bat .437, I think is what his average was at the tournament last weekend.
That's impressive on a kid who just got the call up, you know.
.523, as Lawrence King gives me the correct information here.
We tried to short him 100 points there. Ooh.
Yeah. But yeah, he would earn the Batters Award. Nick Jovetic getting the MVP. And then Ryan McHugh, he would get a $1,000 scholarship from the Montana-Alberta Legion Conference. Stevens will hit this one out. Shortstop, he'll chase it down to second. The throw to first, and that will end the inning. So the Mavericks, they'll get runners on. They'll leave them there, and it stays tied at 1. We'll be back in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio.
For over 30 years, Garden of Eden has passionately pursued to aid Missoula's area churches in their mission to evangelize the surrounding areas. Garden of Eden has a large stock of books, gifts, music, toys, and more. Stop in to visit their full-service coffee bar and luscious homemade fudge. Shop their online store and get free shipping on orders of $69 or more. Visit them at www.shopgardenofreden.com or stop by their store at 2621 Brooks. Garden of Eden is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports and the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is Missoula's one-stop shop for all your hockey and lacrosse needs.
Check this out.
It may be warm outside, but you can still take care of your hockey fix in their 1/3 sized indoor rink.
Really? Wow, crazy.
Stop in to 1010 North Avenue West and see what they have in store for your hockey needs. Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is a proud sponsor of high school sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Welcome back to Ogren Park. It rolls off the tongue so nicely, Lindbergh Craig Field, but we're at Ogren Park for the Northwest Regional Tournament, and the leadoff batter on the inning is number 2, Owen Mendoza, the second baseman. Tied at 1 on the scoreboard here. Top of the second, Dylan Barkley on the mound, swinging and missing for strike number 2 is Mendoza.
That's a famed baseball last name there, Mendoza. Wonder what his batting average is.
Here's the pitch. This one's going to be hit down the first base line. High blooper down the first base line, and it's going to go foul. 3, Martin, Frazier, and Leonard all try to chase it down out there.
I guess the backstory, Mario Mendoza hit .215 his whole career. It's the Mendoza line, as it's referred to.
The Mendoza line. Barkley now settles on the mound. Here's the pitch. And that one will be a K. Dylan Barkley with the strikeout. That'll take us to the number 9 batter, number 5, the left fielder, Luke Mallinger.
Well, and Barkley's showing that even though he's got kind of a high pitch count here just for the 3rd inning, he's still got his good stuff as he strikes out the batter there.
Here's the pitch. That one's low for ball 1. We'll have the 7 o'clock game here coming up with Bozeman, Bucks, and Mid-Pacific from Hawaii. This one's going to be fouled off down into the barbecue deck for strike 1. Yeah, there's a little bit of a breeze. It was warm earlier, but there was a breeze, and that made it. Here's the pitch by Barkley. This one's going to be chopped up in the air over second base. Martin calling for it. Leonard comes in and gets it, and that'll be for 2.
That's the kind of thing that exactly what Barkley orders. Something where he can get up and get down with 3 pitches. Try and conserve himself a little bit here for later in the ball game.
And I don't really think people realize how much in control the pitcher is over the batter, even with the hit. Here's the pitch. That one's low and outside on the left-handed batter. For ball one. At the plate is Zeb Story. That pitch will catch the inside of the plate. That's what Barkley was kind of looking for there. Evens the count out at 1.
Well, and Story on the night here, Chris, 1 for 1 with that leadoff single to start the game, also known as the Dancer.
Here's the pitch. This one's going to be dropped in, and Jovetic will end the inning with the catch. So they'll get one on, they'll leave them there, and it will stay tied at 1. Bottom of the second, or top of the third in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio. Welcome back to Fox Sports Radio. Chris Stratton, Taylor Featherman here for Fox Sports Radio at Ogren Park Legion's Field. 2017 American Legion Northwest Regional Tournament. And Juneau, Alaska, taking on the Missoula Mavericks. And right now we're tied at 1. And we've swung to the top of the batting order for the Mavericks with the nut, James Martin.
The nut. I'm going to need an explanation on that one. I haven't heard that one before, I don't think.
We'll get to it in a moment here. Here's the first pitch by Wall. That one will be outside for ball 1. So Martin's nickname was Peanut, and he's grown up and now he's a nut.
I gotcha. Okay, that was easy.
Pretty simple. Swinging and missing. It'll be actually fouled off into the catcher, and we'll even the count out at 1 here.
Well, and James Martin, so far one of the most versatile players here for this Mavericks team, as he also led off the things with Mavs with a 1 for 1 here on the night with a single to start off the ball game.
Here's the pitch by Wall. Reaching for it, out to the shortstop, bouncing past the shortstop, deep into left center field, and Martin will get on, standing up off of the error by the shortstop.
Well, and you're exactly right. That was just an error there for Juno, a tough error, which especially in a close ball game like this, that's especially what you don't want to see. And now with Jovetic coming up, a runner in scoring position up there at second base.
Nick Jovetic waits for the pitch. It comes his way. It's inside, across the knees of the left-handed batter. Dane Frazier is in the on-deck circle. And I see Coach Tompkins making some hand signals, and the Jovetic will hit this one deep down the line. It's over the fence, folks. Jovetic with the homer. Martin comes home to score, and the Mavericks take a 3-1 lead.
Nick Jovetic there showing that he's got some pop, blasting that ball right over the right field line. 87 to the fence, down the the first baseline as the crow flies. Nick Jovetic with a little pop there, which, Chris, for these young athletes here, this is a tournament that draws some scouts. So, for players to do things like that is a very special thing.
Yeah, and in combination of the distance, he put that one over the fence. There's a 12-foot wall out there in right field for that ball to hop over as well.
And yeah, he got all of that.
First pitch to Dane Frazier is a ball. No, they're going to count it as a strike. So 0-1 on the count to Frazier. Top of the third, Mavericks lead 3-1. Here's the pitch. That one is outside. Evens it out at 1. Spencer Schock in the on-deck circle.
3-1 with no out, Chris. That's the important part there. Dane Frazier on the day, 0 for 1 with a ground out.
Wall wanting to switch the ball out, get a fresher ball. We have a flyby by an airplane right close to us here.
Double flyby as he 180s back.
And that pitch is a ball. Trying to see the scoreboard out there. I think we're at a 3-0 count here on the scoreboard. There it is as Game Tracker updates at 3-0. And they'll go ahead and walk Frazier. That'll bring the Wall Spencer Schock to the plate.
I'm glad you're paying attention. The second that plane flew and I was useless, I got all sidetracked. He did like a 180 out there. Looked like an air show.
Squirrel. Spencer Schock settles in. Frazier steps away from first. Leonard's in the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch. Schock will swing on this one. It's deep into left field, but the left fielder is there, and that'll be out number 1. Frazier holds it first.
Well, in Schock there, I meant to say prior to the at-bat, 1 for 1 on the day, now 1 for 2 with a single. That's the kind of shot, Chris, where if he hits that the opposite way towards that right field line, that might be right near the warning track, as the left field looks like you gain about 20 feet there. A little bit deeper than right.
309 down the third base line, 287 down the first. Here's the pitch by Wall. This one's going to be hit down the first base line. First baseman juggles it. He picks it up, and he's got to tag the bag. And Leonard, they say safe because it fell out of the glove. They'll let Frazier advance to third, and the Mavericks will have runners on the corners with 1 out here in the top of the third.
Well, that's just another tough break for Bryce Swofford over there at first base. We've seen him try to get a double play and drop it, and then now right there just trying to get the ball. Dropped it, picked it up, went for the tag, and it just popped out of his glove. And I really think that might have just been strictly because Ryan McHugh might have hit that bag so hard. But
that was Drew Leonard.
Drew Leonard, excuse me.
Got a meeting on the mound here with Tompkins out there. McHugh, the next up at bat, he's going to have a conversation with Hathaway. And Leonard will hang out at first and Frazier at third.
Well, and Chris, something to keep your eye on with Frazier at third and only 1 out here. Ryan McHugh's the kind of kid who's got some pop, although he's 0 for 1 here today. But he's 0 for 1 on the books. He hit that right towards the shortstop there in the earlier inning, in the second inning there, which was good for a single base, and then also stole second. But he's got pop here, and with 1 out, you could see Frazier tag up if the right situation arises. So something to keep your eye on at least.
McHugh settles into the press box, batter's box. And Wall has a conversation briefly with the third base ump. That is Jeff Maxey, who settled in right in front of second. Runners step away from their bases. Wall settles in on the mound. No action in the bullpen. They'll throw to first. Leonard dives in. He's got pride stripes on the jersey.
Sound guy's letting him have it.
They're brutal here at Ogre
yeah,
Park.
Oh, yeah,
so
relentless.
Here's the pitch. This one will be swung on. It's going to go high over first base. And he'll catch it for the out, and that'll be out number 2. And that'll bring up Sam Busey. And Brendan Buchanan will go to the on deck. Wall settles in on the mound. Runners at first and third for the Mavericks. Top of the third. Mavericks lead 3-1. Jovetic with a shot over the wall and an RBI. That was before we got an out. Here's the pitch. Swung on by Busey. It'll bounce out to the shortstop. He'll pick it up. Throw to second. Is there in time. And that will end the inning. So the Mavericks, they'll leave 1. They'll score 2. And they'll take a 3-1 lead. We'll be back in 60 seconds on Fox Sports 1457.
Mike's Print and Copy is your locally owned print shop. Whether it's custom letterhead or business cards, Mike and his friendly staff understand that your business is important to you and will make sure that your project is handled in a professional and timely manner. Drop into Mike's Print and Copy to have them take care of your printing needs. Stop by 1503 South Russell or give them a call today at 406-728-3363 to have Mike's Print and Copy take care of your printing needs. Mike's Print and Copy is a proud sponsor of high school sports in Missoula and the surrounding community. Advertising on the web can be intimidating. Where do you start? What is the most effective way to reach the audience you are targeting? Milk Crate Media can help you reach your audience, whether it's social media marketing or creating a unique commercial for streaming or radio advertising. Milk Crate Media can help you build a new website or rebuild your existing website that will bring users back again and again. Visit www.mcratemedia.com today. Milk Crate Media is a proud sponsor of prep sports in Missoula and the surrounding valley.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7. That one's going to be hit down the first baseline, picked up by Leonard, and number 16, Donovan McCurley, will get on to lead off for Alaska here on the inning. Mavericks lead 3-1 on the Pepsi scoreboard here in the bottom of the third.
That was just quick action there, Chris. I'm still trying to.
Yeah, that was a quick half inning, or break between innings.
First pitch hit there right out of the gates. Barkley now at 45 pitches on the day here at the top of the fourth.
Here's the pitch. That one's going to be inside. And Watts at the plate. Kind of hangs his elbow out there to see if he can get it hit in the free base. Here's the pitch swung on. That one's going to foul off into the umpire. And we'll even the count out at 1. Need that breeze to pick up again here. That way we cool off in the booth. McCurley playing out there. This one's going to be popped out, picked up by Martin. He'll get the tag at first and the throw to first. And they'll turn the 4-3 double play.
James Martin doing everything he can out there right now. We've seen him with a couple great defensive showings. Beautiful diving stop with the ball going right up past the second bag there earlier in the first inning. And then now right there, scooping the ball, running all the way up to second, and then just firing that thing off to first fast enough to get the double play. That's a one-man double play right there.
Here's the pitch. Catches the outside of the plate on Bryce Swofford. Martin has just been a consistent player all the way through. Here's the pitch. Check swing. They say he didn't go, and it'll be ball 1. Oh, they're going to call it a strike. And now it updates as a ball. Okay, well, we'll just follow along with the scoreboard here. Even count at 1, 2 outs. That one will catch the plate for strike 2.
Well, that was just a dirty pitch right there. That not dirty in the sense of bad, but I mean just filthy. That I don't know if there's a lot of batters that could hit something like that off Barkley, as this one will be popped down right to third base. McHugh
will catch. They'll throw to first just for good measure, and that will end the inning. And so the Mavericks hold on to their 3-1 lead. We'll go to the top of the fourth in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7. Welcome back to Ogren Park at Allegiance Field. Chris Stratton and Taylor Featherman for Fox Sports Radio 1450 and 92.7. Top of the fourth inning, Mavericks lead 3-1 over Juno of Alaska, post 25. The winner, they move on and play at 4 o'clock tomorrow. The loser has the early game at 9:30 tomorrow morning. And you noticed it in between innings. Coach Tompkins not happy with that last play to end the inning as Buchanan comes to the plate.
Yeah, I mean, Swofford popped out to third base, but it bounced prior to the catch at third, so he was still live on the base path, but it was played like an out, so he walked.
Here's the pitch way outside on Buchanan. We'll call that one East Missoula.
Swofford just didn't really even get a chance to run the bases there, and Tompkins let the umpire know about it. He wasn't happy about how that played out.
Here's the pitch. Swung on. This one's going to be hit in between short and third, and Buchanan will get on the second time today.
Another single for Buchanan, just like you said, the young gun with the bat. 2 for 2 here on the day now. Same spot too, right between shortstop and third there.
Parker Stevens. Yeah, Buchanan knowing how to figure out the sweet spot. He's been lethal since he moved up to the A squad. I'm excited. I mean, we want to finish out this season, but Parker Stevens showing bunt here. And that one slices the plate for strike one. But I want to finish out this season because we've got some great veteran players. But Buchanan coming back next year.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. We've got Drew Leonard, who is playing currently, but he'll be a veteran player next year. Just outstanding on the mound is Leonard. And that one's going to be laid down for a bunt. They're going to say foul, and it's strike 2 for Parker Stevens. Now, at the state tournament Thursday, Parker Stevens would foul off 3 straight bunts for the out, for the strikeout, and Coach Hathaway pulled him right there.
That's tough duty. 0 for 1 here on the day with a ground out right out to second base there earlier in the game.
Wall settles, and now the pitch. That one's outside. No, they say strike, and Parker Stevens is struck out. We'll swing to the top of the batting order with James Martin. And Parker Stevens not even looking at the dugout as he goes down into the well there.
Yeah, I think Stevens was upset about that one. But now we get James Martin, the defensive ace, coming back up. I guess I shouldn't just call him the defensive ace. He's also got a single-double to his ticket today.
Buchanan's going to go at second. Throw is there, but not in time. And Buchanan will get the extra base.
Even if that pitch was timed better towards second, it was dropped. So regardless of Buchanan, I mean, Buchanan got that base fair, stole that fair and square. But
so Buchanan takes a 2-step lead out there. Here's the pitch to Martin. It's in the dirt. We'll have a 2-0 count here. 1 out, top of the fourth. Mavericks lead 3-1. We want to welcome in all the listeners that are listening in on the Grizz Sports app and on Fox Sports Radio 1450 and 92.7. You're the ones that make these young men feel like the sports heroes they are. Here's the pitch. That one's outside, and they call balk, so Buchanan gets the extra base.
Interesting, and Buchanan knew that was a balk before it was even called such. He was trotting down before it was even signaled. I didn't see exactly what happened there to create that, but...
And Martin and Holden having a conversation. Now Martin settles in. 3-0 count with 1 out here. Buchanan at third. That pitch catches the outside of the plate. That's where Stevens got struck out. Well, we've got a little bit different view up here than we do at Lindbergh Craig Field, but some of these pitches look like they are a hair outside more than normal. Here's the pitch. That one looked like it was the same spot, but they're calling it a ball. We're at a 3-1 count.
I agree with you in that sense. At least from our perspective, that looked like that was almost a mirror pitch of that previous one, but a different call. But Chris, that's why we're sitting up here, is because we...
That's right. The boys in blue on the field calling the balls and strikes. That one's going to go off the bat and into the glove of the second baseman for out number 2. That one looked like it was on a string.
Yeah, no, and he popped that one pretty good, but right to the second baseman there.
That'll bring up the center fielder, Nick Jovetic.
Chris, what has he done today to his credit?
Jovetic,
Yeah.
he's 1 for 2 with a run and 2 RBIs.
A blasted home run over right field.
And first pitch to Yo is a ball. I'm following along that the tournament is doing all their stats on Game Tracker, and you've got iScore set up, which the Mavericks use. That pitch outside. But I like following along with the iScore more than the Game Tracker, because iScore, it gives you what the batter has done on his information, you know, where his hits have been or what his batting has been like. We don't get that information. And then the pitch count's another great aspect of Game Track, or I mean iScore. You get used to what you're used to, and kind of hard to change. This one will be hit over the second baseman's head. It's going to roll all the way to the fence. Buchanan comes home. Yo is around second. On his way to third. They pick the ball up, and Hathaway says, "Hold on there, son." And Jovetic adds to his chase of the Missoula Maverick career triple record.
Well, and Mr. Triple over there, Nick Jovetic. Does postseason play count towards? Do you know?
I'll have to check in with the officials with the Mavericks to see, but I want to say it does because it's career.
True, that's absolutely correct. Which speaks a lot to team success as well as it does individual.
Frazier will hit this one. High floater. Out, and the second baseman will have the catch to end the inning. So the Mavericks, they add a run. They leave Jovetic at third, and it's 4-1 Mavs going in the bottom of the fourth. We'll be back in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7.
Welcome to Access Fitness, where there's no initiation fees and no contracts. You just get results. With the top-of-the-line equipment to help you reach your fitness goals at your convenience, and 5 locations in western Montana cities, no matter where you venture, you can access your fitness home. Access Fitness is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can work out at your schedule. Access Fitness, no initiation fees, no contracts, just results. Access Fitness is a proud sponsor of the 2017 Northwest Regional Tournament. Feel stuck to your computer when you're cheering on your Prep Sports hero when you can't make it to the game? Well, now you don't have to. The Missoula Prep Sports Network has the app for all of Missoula high school sports fans.
It doesn't get any better than this. This is the future.
Just search Missoula Prep Sports Network in either the iTunes or Google Play app stores and take the game on the go.
How fantastic is that?
The Missoula Prep Sport Network knows that life is busy. You don't have time to sit by the computer. Download the app and take the game with you.
Welcome back to Ogren Park at Allegiance Field. Chris Stratton, Taylor Featherman here. Juneau, Alaska, and the Missoula Mavericks, bottom of the fourth, and the Mavericks lead 4-1. Leadoff batter for Juneau here is number 7, Finn Collins. Collins, 0 for on the day. This one's going to be bounced down the third base line. McHugh will pick it up out of the dirt, the throw to first, and that's out number 1.
And that's exactly what Barkley likes to see there. A quick 2-pitch out. A guy who's got 52 pitches here in the 5th inning, which that's kind of normalized as we've gone here from 25 out of that first inning. He's only allowed 25 in the next 3 so far, and now here in the 4th. But nonetheless, here in the 5th. If you're Barkley, that's exactly what you're hoping to get, is a couple more easy, quick strikeouts.
Designated hitter Bobby Cox fouls this one off into the Juno dugout down the third base line. That's normally the Osprey dugout. They take the third base line as the home team. Hung out in that dugout a few times here during game days. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be fouled off down the first base line, and we have an 0-2 count very quickly with 1 out here.
Nice humble brag. Hung out in the dugout, Osprey games.
I like they've got cameras for the camera to go on just outside. That one's going to bounce off the mound and roll out into center field, and Jovetic will take it on the knee. And Juno's got a runner on. That brings up Alex Muir. But they've got camera wells for the media outside of the dugouts. it's kind of cool to go in there and sit and listen to what they're talking about and how things are going, because from time to time, the Osprey will have Diamondback scouts and they'll have Diamondback coaches down in the well there, or down in the dugout coaching on the players over the top of the Osprey coaches.
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw right on that last play, the blooper out to center field, James Martin diving and trying to make as the pitch gets fouled off there. But Martin trying to make another incredible diving play, but just a tad too late on that one.
And that makes it a even count at 1 here. Here's the pitch. That one's inside on the right-handed batter of Muir. He'll settle in. Barkley checks the runner at first, who's got a 1-step lead. Here's the pitch. That one's going to go off the toe, and Schock will have to come and get that one. Very unusual for Schock have to chase something down like that. I call him the wall because he just doesn't let anything get by him, but when the pitch comes off your toe,
and not a lot you can do about that.
Not much you can do about it.
Yeah.
And we've got Mid-Pacific, the Hawaiian team. They're in the grassy knoll area down the first baseline, general admission seating, trying to get some shade while they wait. Here's the pitch. And they'll go ahead and walk the batter.
Well, that makes up for the whole toe thing. I mean, you would have got second either way, right?
Owen Mendoza comes to the plate now.
Owen Mendoza on the day, 0 for 1, and Barkley's sole strikeout, or I'm sorry, one of his 2 strikeouts so far.
This one's going to be fouled up in the air, and Schock with a diving play with the catch for out number 2.
Well, and that's a big-time play right there, Chris. That's an easy out and a 1-pitch out, too, there for Barkley. And now with 2 outs, you're not as worried about having runners on first and second as you are with 1 out. 1 out, a deep pop. I say it every time there's only 1 out compared to 2, but tagging up is a serious thing, especially if a ball kind of gets away from someone, maybe out in the field, deep in the corner or something.
And we've seen quite a few outs happen because of that tag up or the lack of. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1, and Taylor, I think he was going yard on that one.
Yeah, that was quite the cut there by Mendoza. Almost swung out of his shoes, it looked like.
So an 0-1 count here, 2 outs, runners at first and second for Juno. Mavericks lead 4-1. Here's the pitch. That one's in the dirt. Evens the count out at 1. Schock tracking it down and getting it back out to Barkley. Nice crowd here at Ogren Park. All kinds of Maverick fans out here. Some of the other teams filling in as well. We've got Missoula Prep Sports Heroes in the building. I saw Will Mitty, Mitch Roberts. This one's going to go foul down the first base line here. And we go to a 1-2 count. Messer. I can't remember what Messer's first name is. That's horrible for a Prep Sports guy like myself to not be able to remember. We've got DeWalt, one of the upcoming Hellgate basketball stars here, cheering on as well. You know, that's the great thing, Taylor, is this one's going to be hit out into right field, and Leonard is there to finish the inning. We'll get to that after the half-inning break here. Mavericks lead 4-1, top of the 5th in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7.
Welcome to Access Fitness, where there's no initiation fees and no contracts. You just get results. With the top-of-the-line equipment to help you reach your fitness goals at your convenience, and 5 locations in western Montana cities, no matter where you venture, you can access your fitness home. Access Fitness is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can work out at your schedule. Access Fitness, no initiation fees, no contracts, just results. Access Fitness is a proud sponsor of the 2017 Northwest Regional Tournament. Feel stuck to your computer when you're cheering on your Prep Sports hero when you can't make it to the game? Well, now you don't have to. The Missoula Prep Sports Network has the app for all of Missoula high school sports fans.
It doesn't get any better than this. This is the future.
Just search Missoula Prep Sports Network in either the iTunes or Google Play app stores and take the game on the go.
How fantastic is that?
Missoula Prep Sport Network knows that life is busy. You don't have time to sit by the computer and take the game with you.
Welcome back to Ogren Park, Allegiance Field. Chris Stratton, Taylor Featherman for Fox Sports Radio as we have coverage of the Missoula Mavericks in the 2017 American Legion Northwest Regional Tournament. They're taking on Juneau, Alaska to start off the tournament, and the Mavericks lead 4-1 here in the top of the 5th. Leading off for the Mavericks, Dane Frazier. Actually, it's Spencer Schock. I forgot to mark down Dane Frazier. So we'll start off with the wall, Spencer Schock.
Well, and Schock, Chris, here today, 1 for 2 with a single and a fly out to his credit.
He'll settle in. Schock is such a great athlete, football and basketball. He's done wrestling and basketball in the past as well. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be low.
Crowd support for Spencer Schock.
You know, Mav fans, they support all the guys, and that's what I was saying before we went to break. Here's the pitch by Wall. This one will be fouled off the hand grips and into the Maverick dugout. Evens the count out at 1. You know, these kids, these boys, when they go to their high schools, Big Sky, Sentinel, Hellgate, Loyola, Valley Christian, whichever one, when they compete against each other there, it's all business. Schock's going to blast this one. It's going to go deep into left field. It's looking for the wall. It'll bounce off the ESPN Missoula sign, and Schock will have a stand-up double to add to his stats.
Boy, Chris, just another great deep shot by the Mavericks there, and crazy part about that shot right there is just a little bit more horsepower, or even just a little bit more to the right where the wall's not as tall. I mean, that thing hit just right below the yellow matting on the fence out there. I mean, that was very nearly a home run, single RBI there for Schock.
But as I was saying before Schock hit that one, as Drew Leonard settles in here to the press box, batter's box, is, you know, these kids are all business when they play against each other for their high schools, but when it comes to something like this, and Leonard will hop this one out, it'll bounce out past the right fielder, can't hold on to it. Schock's at third, and that'll bring up Ryan McHugh with runners on the corners. But when it comes to stuff like this, they're out in the community supporting each other, rooting each other on.
Absolutely.
And now the Bozeman Bucks are in the building. They've got their black uniforms on. That's going to be tough tonight.
It's going to be hot.
So the Laser, or Rhino as the Mavericks call him.
Rhino, huh? Huh.
Here's the pitch. This one's going to bloop out just over the fringe. And Schock will come home, and the Mavericks take a 5-1 lead with runners at first and second. And now we've got action in the bullpen. Looks like number 32. I don't have him on my list here. Oh, Bobby Cox, the designated hitter. That's why.
Ooh. That'd be an easy rotation.
And Tompkins is going to go out and have a conversation with Wall. Now, Taylor, we've got that Montana Club Player of the Game nomination to give out for Fox Sports Radio.
Ooh,
Montana Club, one of the great sponsors for Fox Sports Radio. And when we went to them and asked them about sponsoring prep sports in Missoula, they told us that they thought we were doing a great job, liked what we were doing with the community, and wanted to see if there was something else they could do, and asked if we could give out a gift card to these young student athletes. And we checked into it. Recruiting in high school, you know, you can't have too many giveaways, otherwise it runs into your recruiting stuff for college. We found out we are able to do it. So every game that we cover, we'll hand out a nomination, and then once a week we spin the wheel. Yesterday I spun the wheel, and lo and behold, Dylan Chalmers would get the Montana Club Player of the Game or $25 gift card. We'll have to track him down after the game tonight to get that to him. Sam Busey comes to the plate now after the conference is broken up, and Cox is warming up the mound out. Top of the 5th, Mavericks lead 5-1 with no outs, runners at first and second. Busey will lay the bunt down. Nice bunt, picked up by the catcher. The throw to first is there for out number 1. But movement happens, and we've got runners at second and third now.
Well, and you're absolutely right. Job well done there by Busey. Busey, I'm sorry. lay that bunt down and just get both Drew Leonard advance to third and Ryan McHugh to second. Now you've got runners in scoring position as you bring up the bat, of Brendan Buchanan, who's on fire so far today, 2 for 2.
This one's going to be hit. Chasing it down is a center fielder. The runner's going to tag at third. The throw home. And that will make it 6-1 Mavericks with one out here in the 5th.
Well, and what a play there by Finn Collins. He absolutely got on his horse. That shot there was hit out, as we see now. Coach Tompkins for Juno making his way back out to center, or to the pitcher mound. This might be it for Phil Wall.
And batting for Parker Stevens is Trad Richardson.
And it is. Phil Wall will exit the game. And then coming in for him, Chris, the designated hitter prior to this, Bobby Cox.
All right, we'll step aside for 60 seconds while they warm up the new pitcher here on Fox Sports Radio 1450 and 92.7.
Welcome back here to Ogren Park. Missoula Mavericks versus the Juno Post 25 team. Currently, Missoula Mavericks leading 6-1 on the day as we just get through a pitching change there. Bobby Cox going to be taking the mound now for Juno, away from Phil Wall. 2 Ks on the day for Phil. Now as things get settled in here with Bobby Cox, and we kind of get back in the action here.
Trad Richardson coming in for Parker Stevens, as you were saying. Thanks for bringing us back there.
Oh, you're all good.
Trying to set up the fan for us here in the booth in between innings.
I think job well done. That feels good. Good work, Chris. Here's Trad, takes first pitch from Bobby Cox, and he's going to pop it right out to the shortstop, and he's going to field it cleanly and try to get it to first, and that will be a strike, and that will end the inning there, Chris. Missoula Mavericks go. Trad Richardson shot out there to shortstop.
We'll be back in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio 1450 and 92.7. Welcome back to Fox Sports Radio 1450 and 92.7. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field, or Ogren Park, I should say.
There it is.
There it is. So used to the Lindbergh Craig Field, rolling off the tongue. Dylan Barkley on the mound. This one's going to be hit on right out of the gate. Martin keeps it from going into center field. The runner will hold at first.
Nearly. I mean, that's Zeb's story there, who we've seen so far tonight, Chris. Someone who kind of likes to try to, I want to say, tempt the pitcher He's fast. He's fast. We've seen him take a bag so far here tonight. And he's going to give Barkley kind of fits here now that he's back out. Barkley 67 pitches here on the night as he now steps up to face Donovan McCurley.
So McCurley settles in. No outs here. Runner at first. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be low for ball one. Barkley checks the runner at first, takes a deep breath. Now the pitch. That one's outside.
Barkley just trying to keep his eye over there on Zeb Story, who, I mean, I know I've said it a few times now. He does this little dance almost where he kind of jukes right, jukes left, jukes right as the pitcher is in his motion. As now the second pitch coming in. That's going to be shot right up into center field. Nick Jovetic fielding it and holding the runners at second and first as Zeb Story advances. Great shot there by McCurley, now with runners first and second for Juno. No out, Chris. Barkley now at 69 pitches on the night, as now Casey Watts will come up to bat for Juno.
So runners at first and second. No outs here. Bottom of the fifth. 6-1 on the scoreboard. Mavericks in charge, but as you said, Juno is threatening. Here's the pitch. Outside. Be interesting to see if things get away here on Barkley. If who Hathaway will throw in there for him. We are in the fifth. And that one's going to be low. Makes it 2-0 on the count.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the Missoula Mavericks, they have a lot of good options as far as relievers. Guys like Andy Brooks, even if you could get back into some of the other starters in tournament style like today. I doubt that because with such short rest between, keep them fresh.
That one will foul off the end of the bat for strike one. Makes it 2-1 on the count with no outs here.
Clayton Frankie, Jaron Graham, Bokey. I mean, there's a lot of guys who can step in here and do things. But obviously you'd like to see Dylan Barkley stay on the mound now as he hits 71 pitches on the night. That one's going to be outside for a ball.
Inside on the left-handed batter. Makes it 3-1 on the count here. Looks like I-score is a little bit behind. Here's the pitch by Barkley. And that one will catch the plate for a full count.
Well, and Barkley playing with fire here with the count now 3-1, or I'm sorry, 3-2 full count. If this batter were to get walked, you have bases nuked with no one out, which is a very scary situation for a ball club to be in.
This one's going to be hit into center field. Jovetic comes up for it. He's got the catch, and that'll be out number one. The runners will hold at first and second.
Well, and it looked like old Zeb Story, the little speedster out there, was looking like he wanted to try to run, but the arm of Nick Jovetic froze him. Froze him in places. Now the first baseman, Bryce Swofford, stepping up to bat for Juno. We've seen a couple nice hits from Swofford here tonight.
Barkley settles for the pitch. This one's going to be blasted right into Martin's hand. They'll get the out at second as the runner was going, and that will end the inning. So the Mavericks, they get out of it. Barkley hops to the dugout, and the Mavericks keep their 6-1 lead. We'll be back in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7.
Welcome to Access Fitness, where there's no initiation fees and no contracts. You get results. Equipment to help at your convenience, and 5 locations in western Montana cities. No matter where you venture, you can access your fitness home. Access Fitness is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can work out at your schedule. Access Fitness, no initiation fees, no contracts, just results. Access Fitness is a proud sponsor of the 2017 Northwest Regional Tournament.
Do
you have a sweet video of your sports athlete? Did you experience a sports-altering moment or something at a sporting event that wowed the crowd? Go to our homepage at www.mpsn406.com and click on the Contact Us tab at the bottom of the homepage. Email us your video. We'll choose a new one every Monday, and yours just might go viral. Visit us today at MPSN406 on Facebook and Twitter. MPSN.com, Missoula's home for Missoula Prep Sports Heroes.
Welcome back to Missoula Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7. Chris Stratton here, Taylor Featherman, as we are set for the top of the 6th inning. Mavericks lead 6-1 here at the top of the 6th, and Cox is in now. He came in the last inning. So there's no DH here. This one's going to be popped up. Martin's going to hit it deep, and it's going to bounce off the first security sign at the wall in center field. Martin will come around second, and slide into third, and Martin's got a triple to add to his stats.
Martin might just be going for a cycle here tonight with a first, a second, and now a triple. James Martin, wow. I mean, and you know, not only have we seen him make some great defensive plays, and you know, Chris, we had the privilege of being here last night for the banquet where actually Rob Short, former Nationals player, longtime pro, whether in minors or majors or even across the pond in Japan, spoke to the boys and said, listen now, this is kind of a showcase for you kids. Have fun, but also that one's going to be rung up for a strike there by Bobby Cox. Nice pitch to Jovetic. But he said, if you can steal a base, steal a base. If you can hit for power, hit for power. If you're a great center fielder, show it off. And James Martin must have taken that to heart, because he's showing not only that he can bat, as pitch 2 is going to be outside for a ball, evening out the strike at 1-1. But James Martin must have taken that to heart, because he is showing that not only can he be a great second baseman defensively, but also that the kid can swing a bat.
For sure. And here's the pitch. That one's way outside, having to wrangle it in and catch it before it goes to the wall. That could have scored Martin. Nice job by the catcher, Muir, to keep that from going in. He actually had to take his mask off to dive for that one on the outside. But Martin, his coach, is here as well. The Kalispell Lakers coach is also the coach for Miles City, where he's going. Jovetic will hit this one down. The first baseman can't handle it. Can't be handled by the second baseman, and Jovetic will get on. Martin comes home to make it 7-1, and the Mavericks, with no outs here, they're dueling banjos.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, right there, that was just a very, very, very unfortunate turn of events there for Juno. The first baseman tried to dive and catch it, and it just slipped off his hand. And then the second baseman dove just a few feet behind him. And the way it slipped off the first baseman's hand, it kind of bounced off his as well out there in the right field. I mean, that almost seemed like there should have been some kind of a trumpet behind it or something, you know. That was just a very, very bad turn of events.
So Dane Frazier now waiting for the pitch. It's outside for ball 1. Jovetic at first, and that's lethal in itself once he gets on base. Watch out. They're going to throw to first. Jovetic will get back standing up. And they're doing 50-50 tickets. Got the A-squad players out there helping Lawrence King with the 50-50s. Frazier settles in. Yo with a 1.5 lead out at first. That one catches the plate. Evens the count out at 1. No outs here. Top of the 6th. Mavericks lead 7-1. Things were looking pretty even out of the gate, but the Mavericks would find their bats in the 3rd, earning 2 runs. Another run in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and now 1 here in the 6th. Frazier ducks on that one, and it makes it 2-1. Cox waiting for the pitch, checks Jovetic at first. Jovetic doesn't play many games out there, but just his presence, I think, is enough. That one's fouled off, and we've got a, well, It popped up as a ball. We might be even at 2. Can't quite see the scoreboard out there.
Indeed we are, 2-2. You were speaking earlier how first baseman here for Juno, Bryce Schwolford, is a tall kid, and now standing next to Nick Jovetic, I agree, he must be all of 6'7".
This one's going to be hit out into right field. Right fielder's tracking it down. He'll get the out. Jovetic holds at first, and we've got the first out of the inning here with Spencer Schock coming to the plate.
Jovetic, even with his foot on a bag, is at least, I would say, about 2 inches shorter than Schwolford out there. And Jovetic is all of 6'5".
Yeah.
Not to take away from Casey Watts, very nice catch out there in right field. But still, I just thought I should throw my 2 cents at that.
Schock 2 for 3 with a run and an RBI. He waits for his first pitch. That one will catch the outside of the plate for strike 1. Hawaii all set up underneath. They've been in the batting cages. They're ready to go. Their game is at 7. Cox checks Jovetic. Now the pitch. That one's inside on Schock. He twists out of the way. Evens the count out at 1.
Well, in Schock, you and me have talked about in previous games, I don't want to say it's a talent necessarily, but he gets hit by a lot of pitches. Something he does well, and he always just, walk it off. He just gets to first base as fast as he can.
Here's the pitch. Jovetic will go. The throw to second. Actually, they'll throw to the catcher. Jovetic gets the free base.
Well, and Schock swung at that one. Really, really chased that pitch there by Cox.
Hathaway and Jovetic with a quick signal. And, I've noticed that Hathaway has a special signal for each one of the boys. Like, there's the regular signals. Here's the pitch. And this one will be fouled off into the netting. And Schock with a 1-2 count. But he's got a special signal for each one of the boys, too, when they get on base. Schock settles in. Yo steps away from second. 1.5 lead. Here's the pitch. Swung on. This one's going to go high. Shortstop backing up over the fringe. Center fielder coming in calling for it. And it's actually going to be the right fielder that dropped, the left fielder that drops it. And Schock will get to second off the error. And Jovetic is settled in at third. 1 out here. And that brings up Drew Leonard.
Missoula Mavericks making the best of the situation here. Just another unsightly error out there, but
Leonard settles in. Cox takes a deep breath. Runners step away from their bases at second and third. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be blooped over the head of the second baseman. Jovetic will come home. They throw home, but it is way wide. Schock will hold at third, and with 1 out here, the Mavericks make it 7-1, 8-1.
Number 24, Ryan McHugh.
With runners on the corners, and that brings up the laser, Ryan McHugh.
still 1 out here, Chris. 2 on. And now Ryan McHugh up to bat. With the Mavs now up 8-1, it's not out of question to bring up the 10-run rule here for the Mavericks. A lot of things would have to continue to go their way here tonight, though.
We've seen one close out in 7 off the 10-run rule. That was the previous game with Cheyenne. That ball in the dirt outside, but a nice job by Muir to keep it from getting too far. McHugh settles in. 1-0 count. Runners step away from their bases. Leonard at first with a heavy 1.5 lead out there. Schock hovering at third. He's got Hathaway in his ear. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be fouled off into the netting. And we'll even the count out at 1. McHugh, as I mentioned earlier, honored by the Montana-Alberta Conference. He would win a $1,000 scholarship from them, from Legion Baseball. That'll go towards his schooling at U this fall. But the other interesting fact is that he's going to be put in a hat for a $2,500 scholarship that'll be given away at the Legion World Series in North Carolina next week, so he'll be in with 8 other guys that have earned the $1,000 scholarship.
Hey, 1 out of 8 for 2,500. That's pretty good odds. You're not going to find that anywhere, especially for an education.
You know, and McHugh, we don't talk about it very much, but he's about as athletic as any of the other guys. Bunt laid down, fouled off, and it'll be a 1-2 count here. But, yeah, he's as athletic as any of the other guys. Had an opportunity to pitch at a D1 school anywhere in the U.S., but chose scholastics over athletics, and he's going to go and try to either get a business degree or he was looking at some sort of architectural degree.
Ooh, so that means he's smart too.
Here's the pitch. He'll duck out of the way for that one. Leonard will go to second and get the free base as the catcher throws it back to the pitcher.
Well, that was kind of interesting there. Leonard just kind of trotting about halfway, waiting for the catcher to kind of get onto him and throw to second, and then he never did, so Leonard just headed right in there to second. Now runners on third and second, Chris, here with 1 out for the Mavericks.
McHugh with an even count at 2. Cox takes a deep breath here, and he'll check the runners. Here's the pitch. McHugh will hit this one out past the third baseman. It's going to roll out, and Schock will score, and it's now 9-1 Mavericks with 1 out here and runners on the corners, and that'll bring up Busey, and here comes Tompkins once again.
I haven't seen anyone warming up out there, so I can't imagine that too many. Well, maybe there's some players.
They're gonna have a conversation here, is at the very least. I don't think they're gonna be pulling him out.
I don't think so.
But I imagine with Cox being the DH, moving to the pitcher position. Oh, number 12 pops out of the dugout. That's Quinn Gist. And Gist. Oh, nope, he's just handing the glove off.
Just a trade out there.
So number 16, Donovan McCurley, will go to the mound, sliding over from third, and that's where Cox will go.
Interesting.
Cox is at third. Let's see here. Make sure we square stuff away. We're going to go ahead and step aside for 60 seconds while they let the new batter warm up. Mavericks lead 9-1 on the scoreboard here in the top of the 6th. We'll be back in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio. Welcome back to Fox Sports Radio. They warm the pitcher up very quickly. Chris Stratton, Taylor Featherman here at Ogren Park. Sam Busey in the box, and now on the mound is Donovan McCurley, and Bobby Cox slides over to third.
Bobby Cox showing his versatility. Not only DH can hit, move him to pitcher, and then now over to third.
And the Lewis and Clark twins, they're still in the building. They're coming over behind us here, behind the press box.
Been a cut there, and that would be a strike.
Been count 1 here for the Buse.
1 out, runners on the corners. We're going to get a pause. And looks like umpire just talking to McCurley there.
And that is Max Cannon. Nope, That's the third base, Jeff Maxey, out there conversing with McCurley. Twins are going to come have a seat down here below us here. Now, McCurley is ready. Here's the pitch. Busey will hit this one just over and into the fans here to the right of us. And that will be a strike. So a 1-2 count here for the Buse with one out. Mavericks lead 9-1. Runners at first and third. Throw to first, diving back in is McHugh. Leonard dances at third.
Well, that's just good work there by McCurley, just keeping an eye on a runner. McHugh started kind of getting out there a little bit. I mean, like you said, it's a chess game within a chess game within another chess game with another chess game next to it, kind of, is how baseball is. So, good work by McCurley, excuse me, just keeping his eye.
Busey, this one goes straight up in the air. The catcher says he's got it, looking for it in the sun, and he's got it in the glove for out number 2. Runners hold.
Well, and that's not easy, Chris. I mean, here it's 540 right now. It's going to be a little bit offset, but right up high in the sky, looking straight up 90 degrees to catch a ball that shot up straight 90 degrees. I mean, that's a tough duty there, but Alex Murr makes it look easy.
That brings up the young gun, Brendan Buchanan, with 2 outs here.
But Buchanan on the day, Chris, 2 of 3. But that third one, the pop out, besides his 2 singles, drove home a run. So sac fly there for him.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And I'll tell you what, McCurley, when he winds up, that ball comes out like a rocket. I mean, he's got a very quick stretch and throw. Throw to first. McHugh dives back in. 2 outs here. Top of the 6th. Mavericks lead 9-1. Donovan McCurley on the mound. That pitch is outside. Evens it out at 1 here for Buchanan. And we were talking to Lawrence King between innings there about Buchanan, and he was saying that his average during the tournament last weekend was more like 546 or something like that.
Holy cow.
He was just on fire, and this one will foul off for strike 2.
Well, Chris, I'm no math guy, but I think he's hitting 660 in this tournament here. Right?
Well, we'll have Hathaway check your math.
Yeah. Well, and he was my math teacher, the Missoula Mavericks coach. I should say that, full disclosure. And I was able to tell him yesterday that I turned out to not be very good at math.
McHugh's going to go. Here comes Drew Leonard down the line, and they call him out, and that will end the inning. So a risky run, and they get the out to end the inning. The Mavericks, they'll get 3 runs to make it 9-1. We'll be back in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7.
For over 30 years, Garden of Eden has passionately pursued to aid Missoula's area churches in their mission to evangelize the surrounding areas. Garden of Eden has a large stock of books, gifts, music, toys, and more. Stop in to visit their full-service coffee bar and luscious homemade fudge. Shop their online store and get free shipping on orders of $69 or more. Visit them at www.shopgardenofreden.com or stop by their store at 2621 Brooks. Garden of Eden is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports and the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Advertising on the web can be intimidating. Where do you start? What is the most effective way to reach the audience you are targeting? Milk Crate Media can help you reach your audience, whether it's social media marketing or creating a unique commercial for streaming or radio advertising. Milk Crate Media can help you build a new website or rebuild your existing website that will bring users back again and again. Visit www.mcratemedia.com today. Milk Crate Media is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports in Missoula and the surrounding valley. Back into the action here at Ogren Park as number 7, Finn Collins, comes to the plate for Alaska. Mavericks lead 9-1. Dylan Barkley on the mound. That pitch is outside but catches the plate for strike 1.
Well, and Finn Collins, Chris, I remember he's got some wheels. He's the center fielder here for the Alaska Juno post-25 team.
That one will be pulled off.
And
Makes it strike 2.
Sorry, he made a play where a ball was hit out to, I would say, about short left center, and clear back from the dead center of center field was the get up and get the ball. And he did just that. Quick out. So, Finn Collins, keep your eye on the wheels if he gets on base.
Here's the pitch by Barkley, 0-2. Reaching and missing on the swing, and it's a strikeout for Barkley.
Looks like he will not be allowed onto the base with Dylan Barkley at the helm here.
So Barkley, he's allowed 1 run off of 6 hits. That 1 run has been earned. Walked 2 batters and struck out 2 batters in the 5+ innings that he's pitched. Here's the pitch. Bobby Cox, left-handed batter, and it's on the plate for strike 1. Barkley now with the pitch. Check swing. Say he did not go. Evens the count out at 1. Here's the pitch by Barkley. This one will bounce in front of the plate. Buchanan picks it up in the dirt. The throw to first on the hop, but Frazier reaches for it for the out. What a stretch by Frazier to get that one.
Absolutely. I mean, we see him right there. Looks like he was almost in the splits, Chris. Something I don't know if most people can do to get out there and get that ball off Buchanan. And Buchanan, to his credit, in the field, great play there off the bounce to get that up to first. There's just a little bit left there, but Frazier able to make it work.
That'll bring us to the catcher, Alex Muir. Here's the pitch by Barkley. It'll catch the outside of the plate on the right-handed batter for strike 1.
Well, and, you know, to Barkley's credit, there's pitchers where you bring them in specifically just to get a lefty out or to get a righty out, but here with this versatile Juno lineup, I don't think it really matters.
Swinging and missing for strike number 2 is Muir.
I mean, righty-lefty switch. Barkley's going to be able to at least contest with all of them.
Swinging and missing, and Barkley will finish the inning out with a K. So 1, 2, 3 goes Alaska. Mavericks will have the top of the 7th in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio 1450 and 92.7.
Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is Missoula's one-stop shop for all your hockey and lacrosse needs.
Check this out.
It may be warm outside, but you can still take care of your hockey fix in their 1/3 sized indoor rink.
Really? Wow, crazy.
Stop in to 1010 North Avenue West and see what they have in store for your hockey needs. Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is a proud sponsor of high school sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network. The Missoula Prep Sports Network is Missoula's home for local sports. MPSN406.com has the news on Missoula and surrounding communities' sports heroes. Our mission is to make our local sports heroes feel just like sports heroes. Visit us today at www.mpsn406.com. Follow us on Twitter at MPSN406. MPSN406.com, Missoula's home for its prep sports heroes.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Radio 1450 and 92.7. Chris Stratton here with Taylor Featherman. We've got some changes. Looks like Brendan Keller is in at first. And we might have a new catcher. I can't tell with the way that the guards are on if that's still number 14. That's not number 14. I believe, I want to say that's Taylor Funderburg.
Good name.
Regardless, Mavericks will lead off here with Brandon Buchanan here in the top of the 7th inning.
I believe you're right, Chris. I believe that is Taylor Funderburg. Upon review.
And on the mound is McCurley for Alaska. Here's the pitch. That one's high for ball 1. So we're in the top of the 7th inning here, Taylor, with a 9-1 score. If Mavericks are able to put 2 up here and hold off Alaska in this inning, we hadn't run rule, and it's game over, and Alaska moves to the loser side of the bracket, and the Mavericks move on to play Yakima tomorrow at 4.
On that word, Lewis and Clark would be facing Juno here tomorrow.
This one's going to be hit into the glove of Cox off the hop, and it'll be out at first. And that bring up Trad Richardson.
Number 13, Brad Richardson.
And Cox, he'll come in and just hand the ball right off to McCurley.
Trad Richardson on the night so far, 0 for 1 in a relief effort of Parker Stevens there in the designated hitter slot.
And we did lose I-score, folks.
Yeah, such a bummer. That's all right, though.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit straight up in the air, and it's going to come just over the fencing. Actually, it lands out on the deck in front of the concession stand.
Well, and Chris, that one, you know, I didn't believe that a ball could get the trajectory to get over the fence and still come at us, but that one was pretty close, just a little bit to our right.
Here's the pitch. That one is outside. Even count for Richardson. Well, when we were here for the Memorial Day weekend tournament, we did have one hop over and hit on the edge over here. This one's going to be hit out. Shortstop will pick it up in the dirt. The throw to first is shot over there and in time for out number 2.
That's just a beautiful field and get it up to first base there by both the shortstop and the first baseman.
That'll bring us to the second baseman, James Martin.
Now, Chris, if he gets a home run here, that will be a cycle.
Is he just short of the home run for the cycle?
That's all he needs. He's got the first, the second, and the triple.
Well, he did hit one over the fence at Lindbergh Craig Field earlier in the season. Here's the pitch. That one's low. His first home run of his Legion career at the AA level this year. I guess that came out wrong, but his first ever, he would hit it this year. That's what I wanted to say. That pitch will catch the outside of the plate, evens the count out at 1.
Well, and like I was saying earlier, Martin not only showing it on offense, but also making a couple of great defensive stops here today.
That one will go off the toe of the catcher. I really want to say that's Taylor Funderburg.
I just heard someone say Taylor, too. Either someone's yelling at me, Chris, or that's Taylor Funderburg.
Ah, you're just hearing voices. And it's not me this time. Martin on the 2-1 count here. McCurley with the windup. This one's going to be chopped out. And diving catch by the right fielder to end the inning. So the Mavericks will go 1, 2, 3. And we'll go on to the bottom of the 7th with a 9-1 lead for the Mavericks. Back in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7.
Mike's Print and Copy is your locally owned print shop. Whether it's custom letterhead or business cards, Mike and his friendly staff understand that your business is important to you and will make sure that your project is handled in a professional and timely manner. Drop into Mike's Print and Copy to have them take care of your printing needs. Stop by 1503 South Russell or give them a call today at 406-728-3363 to have Mike's Print and Copy take care of your printing needs. Mike's Print and Copy is a proud sponsor of high school sports in Missoula and the surrounding community. Wondering what this week's fishing editions are like in western Montana? The Missoula Prep Sports Network has you covered. Stop by our website, www.mpsn406.com weekly to get the I Fly Fish Montana fishing alert. David Dietrich and the crew at I Fly Fish Montana have you covered when it comes to all things fly fishing. Visit iflyfishmontana.com to get the latest reviews on fly shop, river conditions, and more. Follow I Fly Fish Montana on Instagram to relive their fishing experiences. I Fly Fish Montana is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Welcome back to Ogren Park at Allegiance Field. Chris Stratton with Taylor Featherman as we are in the bottom of the 7th inning here. Everybody standing up for that good old 7th inning stretch here.
Well, and Chris, you had the luxury of muting the mic, so the people missed your just beautiful rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Sorry, folks, you missed out on that one. And we've got number 4 in, Chandler Lewis. He looks like he's stepping in for Mendoza.
Barkley's first pitch there, a strike. Now as he sets for the second, both infield and outfield straight away. Here's the second pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 1.
Ah, he swung on that one, though.
Oh, missed it.
Yeah. So 0-2 on the count here for the leadoff batter in the 7th. Batter Chandler Lewis.
I right my wrong.
Of course you do. And we've got another one, Logan Lessman, warming up in the on-deck circle, and Barkley will strike out Lewis. And Logan Lessman, number 3, will come to the plate. So Juno trying to do anything to spark something here.
Some sort of a rally is certainly what Juno's aiming for, but Dylan Barkley is making that nearly impossible. And then Chris, on that last strikeout there,
swing and a miss,
which you might be able to see it again here. I just noticed that the home plate umpire, Eric Holden, out of Yakima, Washington, he has kind of a funny phone book there for a strikeout. I kind of like that.
Here's the pitch. That one will bounce over the toe of Shock, and we'll have a 1-2 count here.
Really gets down in like a squat. He kind of looked like Joey Crawford calling a charge back in the day, if you remember. Kind of the 4-step in charge.
Here's the pitch. This one will be hit off the hand grips. McKeel will pick it up in the dirt. Throw to first is there in time, but Frazier can't hold on to it, and the runner will get on off the air.
And that's going to be the Mavericks' first error of the day here. Second error, I'm sorry. Regardless, though, that was a beautiful play by Ryan McHugh from third. Scooped the ball, and it was out of his lane a little bit. I mean, I would have even said that might have been more of the shortstop's territory, but he realizes that he has to get it. He gets up, he grabs it, and beautiful flip up to first, but was not able to hang on to it.
So Barkley settles. We swing to the top of the batting order, and Zeb Story, first pitch is a strike.
A lot of stuff in the zone here this inning for Barkley. He's getting a little bit more aggressive here.
Runner at first, a half a step lead out there. Barkley will stare at him. Here's the pitch. That one will catch the outside of the plate on the left-handed batter. Makes it 0-2 on the count with one out here. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, off the knee of Shock, and the runner will advance to second.
Very rare, Chris. As you say, you call Shock the wall because not a lot gets past him, but ricochets off your knee. Just not a lot you can do about that, I suppose.
Would that be the law of physics, or would that be geometry, the way that bounced off of there?
Chris, you're using big words. You've done enough games with me to know that's not my forte.
Here's the pitch by Barkley. This one will be scooped up. Martin can't get to it. The runner will hold. Now they're going to go ahead and bring him home. Leonard will throw it in, but the runner will score. And Alaska gets a run here, making it 9-2.
Well, and that was a sharp play there by Coach Tompkins to send the runner, because the second that got past Martin, out there in right field, Drew Leonard trying to make a play for it, but he couldn't scoop it cleanly off his first grab at it. But if he gets that off the first grab, he doesn't have to bend back down and try to grab it again. That might have been a little bit heftier of a play there at a home plate, but what if, right?
Here's the pitch by Barkley to McCurley. The runner's going to go to second. Martin's there. The tag, and they've got the out for out number 2.
Like I say,
Shock
Chris,
is so good at the catcher position with that throw.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about the throw, it's the accuracy. Martin doesn't have to do much to wait for the ball.
Well, and these Hathaway teams are so disciplined that, they might really run the bases against you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the door's open for you against them.
This one's going to be hopped out into center field. Jovetic will pick it up. And with 2 outs Alaska's got one on here. It's 9-2.
Number 11, KC Watt.
Mavericks. Bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Well, the scoreboard says 2. There are updates here on Game Tracker. Next game scheduled for 7. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be hit hard. Coming up for it is the Buse, and that will end the inning. So Alaska will score 1, they'll leave 1, and they will make it 9-2. We'll be back seconds on Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7.
Stitches of Missoula is your resource for embroidery and screen printing. Stitches can handle your large-scale projects for your team, special event, or for your organization. With their on-site graphic artists and design support team, Stitches can help you turn your idea into a compelling logo. Give Stitches a call today at 406-529-2632 to speak with their super friendly staff. Stitches is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network. Stitches, we make you look good.
Feel stuck to your computer when you're cheering on your Prep Sports hero when you can't make it to the game? Well, now you don't have to. The Missoula Prep Sports Network has the app for all of Missoula high school sports fans.
It doesn't get any better than this. This is the future.
Just search Missoula Prep Sports Network in either the iTunes or Google Play app stores and take the game on the go.
How fantastic is that?
Missoula Prep Sport Network knows that life is busy. You don't have time to sit by the computer. Download the app and take the game with you.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7. Chris Stratton here with Taylor Featherman as we get to go in the bottom of the top of the 8th inning here. Mavericks lead 9-2 over Juno, post 25 out of Alaska.
Looks like a fan just right up here to the left of us, Chris, may have just won themselves the 50-50.
That's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Nick Jovetic to lead off for the Mavericks here on the inning. You know what's cool is they do the 50-50 tickets, and when it comes to the 50-50s at Lindbergh Craig Field, when one of the parents win, they usually pull their whatever they put in, pull it out, and the rest goes back to the Maverick organization.
That's awesome.
Here's the pitch. That one's high. Ball 1 for Jovetic.
Jovetic here tonight, Chris, in his 4 at-bats, 3 hits, 2 of which scored himself for a run, 4 RBIs total, and that monster blast to right field. And a triple.
That pitch will catch the plate, evens the count out at 1. Donovan McCurley on the mound for Alaska. Here's the pitch. That one's outside, trying to get back into that same zone the previous pitch came from, but he was just about a half a baseball out.
Well, and McCurley doing a real bang-up job as far as relief pitching goes here in effort for the Mavericks.
Looks like the Lewis and Clark twins split the pot. Swing and a miss for Jovetic, evens the count out at 2. So the kids get in on the split the pot as well. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big wad of cash in the hands of one of the Lewis and Clark players as they walk by. Here's the pitch, swung on, bounced over the pitcher's head. Second baseman will pick it up in the dirt. Jovetic with those long legs get there.
Well, long legs that move fast. We've talked about it in previous games, Chris. Nick Jovetic, one of the faster players on the team, which is deceiving if you see him because, as you know, Chris, Nick Jovetic plays center in basketball the last 2 seasons for his high school, Big Sky High School, that is. He's a fast kid, deceivingly so.
Dane Frazier, yeah, and on the basketball court, he's one of the first ones down the court.
Well, he's a hustle player.
He's all hustle, athletic. Here's the pitch, intelligent. That one's on the dirt outside for ball 1 for Dane Frazier. So looking at McCurley's stats, if they'll pop up here for me. There we go. He's got 1 2/3 innings pitched. And that's all I've got for him on his pitching stats. That throw is wide of second base. Jovetic gets the free base.
That was about a real problem, Chris.
Yeah, if that would have went out into center field, Jovetic already in stride.
And very fast, like we just said. I mean, he could get third, and then the center fielder, if he's caught snoozing, which it looked like he was actually in pretty good position to back that throw up. That could have been ugly.
Lewiston would actually score like that off of Yakima the first thing this morning. Here's the pitch. Hit right at the pitcher. He dives out of the way. Hathaway tells Jovetic, go ahead. He's on his way home. The throw is there, but not in time. The throw to second, and Frazier will get there. And the Mavericks make it 10-2 with no outs and a runner at second.
Well, and once again, we saw the catcher there, Taylor Funderburg, get up and launch that up towards second base there in effort because they're trying to slow down Dane Frazier. They're heading for second, and again, it wide right.
We want a pitch count here.
22.
22. And the reason why that's important, we mentioned the 120 pitch count for starting pitchers, but if a pitcher comes in to relieve, it's 25. Once they hit the 25 mark, they can't pitch the next game.
Interesting.
Here's the pitch. Schock will reach for it. It's going to bounce. Nope, it's going to be caught by the second baseman. Ball gets away. Jovetic just hangs out at second as he watches it get away from Alaska. And Schock will have the first out of the inning. And that'll take us to Drew Leonard.
With Funderburg chasing that down, that's interesting to me that the Mavs didn't try to send Frazier from second. I mean, generally with the Missoula Mavericks, if you give them an inch, they take a foot as far as base running is concerned.
Here's the pitch to McHugh, or to Leonard. Inside on the left-handed batter. And you know, watching Leonard, he plays right field. He's smaller than Jovetic, but he plays a lot like Yo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Inside, and they say that it caught Leonard, so he gets the free base off the HBP. And the Mavericks have runners at first and second with Ryan McHugh coming to the plate, and one out. McCurley says, I need a new ball, and he'll get refreshed.
Well, and Chris, speaking of right field at that last at bat, I'd be remiss to say Casey Watts taking us out of the previous bottom inning with that beautiful diving catch. I forgot to say anything about that, but holy cow, was that something.
Here's the pitch. It's high to McHugh for ball. Yeah, that was unbelievable. Charging forward and making the dive and just getting the ball. You could see in the glove that he had half the ball in the glove there on the catch.
Being able to do that, coming towards the sun too as well here in the waning moments of daylight in Missoula.
That one will catch the outside of the plate on the right-handed batter of McHugh.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, Casey Watts. Heck of a catch. I'm still caught up on that.
Well, you know, a lot of these players listening to what the guest speaker had to say last night, laying it all out here. That one's going to foul off, and McHugh will have a 1-2 count. We've got scouts sitting down to the right of us and down below us here. They've had their radar guns out and their little notebooks and making all kinds of notes. And
yeah, I noticed that there was a sign-in board at the front, not only for us media members, but also for scouts. And I saw the only one on the list that I noticed, even though that was early when we got here, was the Dodgers, the LA Doyers.
Runners at first and second, one out. A 1-2 count here from McHugh.
Like they need more help, right?
Yeah. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be hit just over the fringe. And it'll drop between three players. And the Mavericks will load the bases with one out with the Buse coming up, Sam Busey.
Another tough break for Juno. Now 10-2. Mavericks up 8 with the bases loaded and one out. Chris, we could be looking at least, I mean, I don't want to get too carried away, but again, the rule is 10 run. So now
Tompkins asking for the pitch count again. 29. And he's going to go ahead and roll out. He's kind of communicating with everybody with hand signals, and now he's going to go ahead and head out to the mound. We'll see what they do here. No DH, nobody warming up. And McCurley hands the ball off. And who are we bringing in? Looks like number 11, Casey Watts from right field.
They're going to miss him out there. That kid's made a couple of terrific plays. But like you said, Chris, the guest speaker last night, which what a privilege for us to be able to sit there and not only eat delicious chicken and steak provided, but also listen to former MLB player Rob Short to the players, the motivational speech about if you can do, show off what you can do and mostly just have fun here with your brethren. But Watts is taking that to heart, much like another young man, James Martin. Not only can he make incredible diving catches and be an incredible right fielder, and also we've seen him swing the bat a couple times tonight here as Watts 0 for 4 on the night, but a couple good cuts. Showing off that maybe he can pitch too.
We'll see what he's got. I haven't seen anybody run out there to right field yet. McCurley is still in the dugout. So we'll see what they have going on here as Watt warms up. Busey set to hit. And Buchanan in the on deck. The Cannon Buchanan, as I like to call him.
The Cannon Buchanan, that's good. Busey here tonight struggling 0 for 3 so far. But that kid behind him, Brandon Buchanan, the young gun, 2 for 3 with an RBI.
It looks like they're going to send Chandler Lewis out there to right field. Nope, we've got somebody out in right. Chandler Lewis is going to go to second. I didn't see anybody trot out there to right field, but we do have somebody out there in right field now.
They sent McCurley out there.
Okay. Well, now McCurley's coming in from right, switching to left as we have sprints going between right and left field now. Yakima is here. They're settled in to watch the game here. And looks like Medford's in the building as well. Here's the pitch. Outside on Buse.
Well, Chris, during that break, I forgot bases loaded, 1 out.
That's right. Loaded bases, 1 out here. 10-2 Mavericks. That pitch outside on the right-handed batter makes it 2-0. Top of the 8th inning. If the Mavericks earn 2 more runs and hold off Alaska, we'll have an 8-inning game. This one will be beat out and over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring Frazier home. That's going to bring home Leonard. That's going to bring home McHugh. And Busey will stand up at second, and the Mavericks take a 13-2 lead.
Chris, I think that's just a tough break for the current right fielder out there, who I think is McCurley. I could be wrong on that. No, I'm pretty sure that's McCurley. Just coming in and just literally running from left field clear out to right field, which is a couple hundred yards at least. Got to be winded, and then just that ball just pelted over your head.
The Cannon, Brendan Buchanan, in the box now. First pitch to him is low into the dirt for ball 1. 1 out here, top of the 8th. Mavericks lead 13-2 over Alaska. The winner moves on for the 4 o'clock game tomorrow against Yakima. The loser plays at 9:30 in the morning against the Twins of Lewis and Clark. Both teams in the building here. Yakima sitting down below us here, and Lewis and Clark sitting off to the left. Here's the pitch. That is outside, and we go to a 2-0 count here. Looks like 3-0 on the scoreboard out there for Buchanan. Here's the pitch, and they'll go ahead and walk the Cannon. And that will bring us to Trad Richardson.
Richardson 0 for 2 here on the night, but he came in about halfway through the game for Parker Stevens. Mavericks here, Chris, just giving Alaska a tough way to go.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1 for Richardson. Richardson played out at third for most of the season. When they brought Buchanan up from the A squad, they slipped McHugh over to third. He had been playing it to short. And we'll foul this one off for strike 2. James Martin in the on deck. And McHugh, he has played great over at third all last season, and then sliding over there again, playing it well, and Buchanan just stepping in and playing very well there. Here's the pitch. It's high, and we go to a 1-2 count here for Richardson, the designated hitter. Kind of strange for me to see the DH hitting in the 9 spot, though. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be hit down the third base line. The tag at third to get the out. The throw to first is there in time, and they'll turn the double play. The Mavericks will leave 1. They'll score 4, and they'll have the lead 13-2 at the top of the 8th. We'll be back with the bottom of the 8th in 60 seconds on Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7.
For 2 through a low. Lock
can help in making difficult child custody. Kyle Cunningham focused solely on family life. Cunningham, you land on your feet when big changes come to your family and life. Visit www.familylawmontana.com or give Kyle a call at 406-203-4678 today. Cunningham Law Services. You don't have to go through this alone. Cunningham Law is a proud sponsor of the Northwest Regional Tournament. The Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7. Chris Stratton here with Taylor Featherman as we get set to go here. Bottom of the 8th inning, Mavericks lead 13-2. And if the Mavericks can hold off Alaska here, throw to second to indicate the start of the inning, then the Mavericks get the win in 8. So post 25, see if something sparks here as Brendan Keller will come to the plate.
Well, and Chris, not only is the 10-run rule potentially in play here, but the other storyline, Dylan Barkley, after a 25-pitch first inning, staying in the game through 8. I don't have the pitch count, unfortunately, but doing a phenomenal job.
A swing and a miss for strike 1. Yeah, Barkley hanging in there. That first couple of innings were rough.
Yeah, shaky at best.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. But that's why he's such a phenomenal. That's why he's the ace for the Mavericks. He's got ice in the veins. Hathaway did have to make a trot out to the mound, and Barkley will have a K to start off the 8th here.
Barkley is just pitching absolute nails. Last inning was the only hiccup so far. They're giving up 1 run in the 7th, but other than that, he's just been all O's on the board from 2 through 6, 1 in the first there, like you alluded to.
Quinn Gist, here's the pitch, and he'll foul that one off, and that one was hard enough on the swing that he almost lost his helmet.
Yeah, that was interesting. The other thing about Barkley is not only in that second inning he put up a 0, but you got to remember he worked out of a bases loaded 1-out jam.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really having a game here today, and a handful of Ks to go along with it.
Barkley with the windup and the pitch. This one will be hit into left field, and it'll bounce in front of Busey, and Alaska will be in business here with 1 out. Bobby Cox coming to the plate.
Number 32, Bobby
Mavericks have a 13-2 lead here in the bottom of the 8th with 1 out.
Bobby Cox fresh off that lone effort out there at third base, fielding the ball, getting to his own bag, and then flipping it to first in time for the double play to end the 8th inning. Top of the 8th for the Mavs at least.
First pitch is a strike to Cox. Yeah, I'm really curious as to what the pitch count is for Barkley. Here's the pitch. That one squeezes the outside of the plate for strike 2.
Well, Bobby Cox is frustrated right now.
Eric Holden calling balls and strikes down there as the umpire. Here's the pitch. This one will be fouled. No, it's going to bounce. Barkley will get it on the bounce. The throw to first, and it is there in time for the out as Max Cannon Jr., the umpire down the first baseline, calls him out. I thought maybe he was safe. Looked like Frazier had pulled his foot off the bag there for a second. So with 2 outs here and a runner at second, and that's going to bring up Taylor Funderburk, and he'll have a small conference here with Joe Tompkins with the plate. So the Mavericks 1 out away from a win here. And moving on to the winner's bracket.
Funderburg here in his first at-bat of the night, coming in early on, replacing Alex Murr.
Here's the pitch. Swung and missed for strike 1. Barkley nods at the pitch. Runner steps away from second. Barkley will eye him, and now the pitch. And missed. 0-2 count here with 2 outs. Runner at second. Mavericks lead 13-2. at the top or the bottom of the 8th. To 2, to 2, to 2. Barkley. Kind of a strange motion with his glove there. He'll check the runner at second. This runner's going to go. This one will be fouled off into the party deck area on the first base line, and the batter will stay alive with an 0-2 count. We want to thank all the listeners tuning in to today's game. You're the ones that really make these young men feel like the sports heroes they are. That one's going to be inside, and we'll have ball 1 here. Nice patient look there by Funderburg.
Absolutely. I mean, and Chris, right now, Dylan Barkley trying to shut this out and get a complete game. Well, I guess ending in the 8th if he gets the out.
Fouled off over the concession stand on the first base line. A 1-2 count keeps the batter alive.
Statistically, I think that would go down as a complete game in the books, but as far as an actual 9-inning complete game, it'd be 1 shy. But nevertheless, Barkley with a phenomenal outing thus far.
Definitely making a name for that Montana Club player of the game.
Oh, yeah. That's true, Chris. I didn't even think of that yet.
Barkley will check the runner at second and then throw the pitch. Swung on and missed, and that will end the game. The Mavericks get the win, 13-2. We'll step aside for 3 minutes. When we come back, we will have your Properties 2000 postgame show on Fox Sports Radio, 1450 and 92.7.